one for 5 minutes.
That's when you play the clip of Kevin McCarthy on January 7th, don't you?
She played one of his clips.
Ay.
It's like it was yesterday was like so. It was them seeing reality thrown in their face for the first time, and they just had to.
And they're going to go back on Fox News and complain about the treatment they got in the mainstream media. And
I'm going to have this same headache right in this eye, aren't I? For 2 years.
You need help.
Yeah, every Monday we're going to have Kevin McCarthy and Jim Jordan clips, aren't we? Can I just to review because I feel like this was not covered to the extent it should have been in the media. Brian tweets, just so I understand. Trump appointed Bill Barr, who appointed John Durham, who spent $6.5 million to uncover, quote-unquote, misconduct in the Trump-Russia probe using Russian intel. But the only crimes Durham uncovered were crimes committed by Trump. And then they hid it? Did I get that right? Yes. Was that covered? I mean, Chuck Todd mentioned Durham found nothing. But it's like the entirety of that story actually goes to her point that the 2016 election was illegitimate. I just feel like that should have been a bigger, story. Okay, not important now. Let's get rude. Dear God. Hi, good morning, rudeness.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I do need to just point out what the Raskin-Benny Thompson thing was.
Yes.
That Raskin actually objected to Florida's electoral votes. He did but it was a symbolic thing. There was never any chance that there was never any movement to it. Yeah. And Benny Thompson and somebody else objected to Ohio's in another election because they said that they have, that because of the disenfranchisement of black voters.
Read what went wrong in Ohio by John Conyers, the late great John Conyers. Also, Florida, we would be referring to when if they had counted all the votes, if they had
that was
the counting, Al Gore won the election. It's not important.
Yeah.
So, but thank you. You said it on Twitter as well. Democrats should be calling for Barr and Durham's prosecution. They should be calling for the prosecution of numerous Republicans in Congress. One of the top political goals of Democrats should be to destroy the Republican Party, not work with them, destroy them. Watching these people on the Sunday shows, how do you work with these people? First of all, they're complete and total liars. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, and they have no interest in governing with you.
No, that clip you played of Kevin McCarthy, I mean, to sit there and say that Marjorie Taylor Greene had legitimate questions to treat her anti-vax position as something that was legitimate it degrades the whole process, So, you're right. You can't work with that.
Yeah. But that was the thing making me a little bit insane is that it was sort of light. They did a light dusting of what I think is one of the biggest stories between the, Trump, the Russian asset in the FBI office and the Barr Durham story. I'm like, what?
Well, and the Barr Durham story. Yeah. I mean, it's like you sit there and go, wait, you mean they covered up the crimes of Donald Trump? Yeah. They looked into it and then decided, whoa, we better not go down this road. Yeah. So essentially, they aided a criminal conspircy, and they obstructed justice.
They told Mueller he was not able to follow the money, right? Which is which the only I have to say, AG from Mueller, she wrote tweeted about that Jack Smith's latest subpoenas seem to indicate that he's going after this like ridiculous like PAC that was supposed to be for election, what was that called? Election defense, which of course was another one of his grifts. Mm-hmm. None of that went for, because there was no stolen election. It did not go for election whatever, right?
I'm sure there's small print somewhere that says 99% of this goes directly to Donald Trump's pocket and 1% goes to defending democracy.
Yeah, or whatever they're calling it. Oh, thank you for tweeting back at Jim Jordan. Jim tweeted, first they came for your guns, then your gas stoves, then your gas cars. What's next? And you said yes, and now all the guns are gone. Not a gun to be seen in the USA. God, I'm so sick of this rape-enabling used car salesman. Thank you. Stephen King had even a better one. When he said, what's next? Stephen King just said, you. Coming for you next.
Yes. The high profile that Jim Jordan has right now is every time I see him, I just think he smells like, shirts that haven't been laundered properly, that just smell of 3-day-old sweat and dried underarm deodorant. Yeah.
Wrestling sweat.
Yeah. So he smells like the guy who didn't wrestle after wrestling practice or didn't shower after wrestling practice.
Yeah. Or like E.T.
He knew better.
Or like E.T. right before he died.
Yeah. Or, old whiskey. Just the worst cigarettes. I mean,
old whiskey and rosin.
I feel like, by the way, they've listened to our show about him looking like E.T. dying in the creek, and they tried to do something with the makeup yesterday to sort of, like they would in a funeral parlor.
Sure.
Some sort of makeup.
Are you saying they were wearing whiteface to make themselves look even whiter for their white supremacist supporters?
Speaking of which, you quoted Tucker Carlson on Tyre Nichols, who said the very same people who are weeping on television about police brutality applauded when one of Nancy Pelosi's officers murdered an unarmed woman called Ashley Babbitt. Holy cow. Where do we start with that? You said the animals who attacked the Capitol are lucky that only one of them was killed. All cops should show that kind of restraint. I mean, I'm just the snippet I saw that I could even stomach of the Pelosi video. I mean, I'm sorry, Rude. If that guy was black, would he not have been shot immediately? Like,
yeah. I don't understand. Did they have their guns out when they approached the door?
Right.
I don't remember seeing that from the video. If they had their guns out as they approached the door, they must have. But and then they rush into a guy that's attacking someone with a hammer. I mean. Paul Pelosi was out of the way. Do something to stop the hammer attack.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly.